5.
5 means we're live. Hello, we're back with Awakenings. We are kind of settling in. We might be having slight technical difficulties in some cases, so if anyone drops, know that that's not on purpose. We'll do our best. But this is our first of our double-header episode situation. So we'll be live, obviously, tonight with Awakenings, and we're going to be back tomorrow with a back-to-back episode. So very exciting times here. It is all Joe's fault. That's canon. But anyway, before we hop into our game, as per usual, we give an opportunity for our lovely cast to introduce themselves, let everybody know what their other projects are or where you might be able to find them. And I'm gonna pick on Nenners because his camera died and he's using his old camera, and I haven't seen this much of his forehead in a while.
God.
Man. I got hats. I got hat. Well, I don't have
No,
one.
you're good, Nenners, you're good.
Do I have a hat around here? I could Rambo. I can go Peruvian Rambo. I got my, Anyway, apparently my forehead's offensive.
It's absolutely not.
What was I saying? I don't know. I'm Nenners. Don Denario, Nenarino, all that good stuff. I am playing Thelonious, a Skaven warlock of Clan Scryer, who is terrified and also equally confused at his current situation, and is surrounded by mostly no furs, except a person who shaved most of his torso and then froze to death. So he's just the situation is weird, but he's doing his best. He's trying, and there's that legacy campaign is going to end sometime. We're on the last episode, so that should be fun. Shadowrun is going to take over after that, so that's going to be really fun. And I think that's all I got for stuff that is necessary. So I'm gonna kick it over to Evie, who's also having camera troubles. Good luck.
I'm not having camera troubles. It just doesn't want to stay loaded. It keeps kicking me out. I really do blame Joe. But hi, I'm Evie, also known as the Disaster GM, normally the director and GM over on Alter Deco Archives. We actually have our session this weekend, Imperium Rising, where the party has split in a very wise decision. But anyway, I promise I'm not going to kill them immediately after Foozca abandons them. I mean, it's not like we miss her or anything.
I miss you guys too. I just can't do Sundays.
I get it.
It kills me. But no, it was wonderful. You guys are awesome.
Yes. But yeah, so it was very fun having you on with us. But yeah, so I am guesting here, specialing, whatever you want to call it, here as Locke, a changeling monk who keeps almost redeading, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. They've got a creepy, toothy smile. Let's kick it over to the beautiful Ava.
Oh, thank you. Hello, my darlings and dears. It's your Madam Ava here. I play Rahani, just a very tired blood hunter, cleric, trying her best in this dead life. You can find me mainly on Twitter, so I can give you up-to-date stuff about the stuff I'm doing. But for the rest of the week, I will be on Roll for Felicity for her podcast, Chill podcast on Saturday. For half of the day, I'm going to be on Exquisite Corpse Presents for their Thirsty Soul Lesbian campaign. And then I'm going to be leaving that for a charity stream, raising money for maps or medical assistance for Palestinians over at Rainbow Roll Fest. Thank you. But that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the week. So I'm going to throw it over to Xanthos.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Xanthos. I am playing the exquisite bard Calcepetus Crab Boy. You can find me over at twitch.tv/campfire stories, where I just be chilling, in all honesty, just vibing, good vibes, Yeah. Crab Boy is gonna pass this off over to Joe.
I am Joe, and it is all my fault. All things. Great and terrible,
Everything.
majestic and villainous are my fault. For I am the microcosmic god, and I am all powerful in a very, very small area. Yeah, but I'm Joe, and I'm playing Ben Rivar, who's Ben with 2 N's. And he's a tiefling and mostly a sorcerer. And he's dead, and he's angry about it. And now we're just moving along together, stuck in this not quite afterlife. But when I'm not here breaking Evie's camera, I am also here doing Legacy till the end, and then other stuff, just whatever they'll let me be on. I like hanging out with these good people. and then other times I'm Dispel Logic on Sundays, where we play Dungeons and Dragons. Though right now we're playing Baldur's Gate because technical difficulties means not everyone could show up, so we're doing something temporary, but it's fun times. So watch us struggle through that until we do D&D again, and then even less times I enter my own realm, and the microcosmic god usually plays Timberborn. But at some point I'm gonna play Mass Effect and do RNG, and it's gonna be great and terrible. A lot of people are probably gonna die in Mass Effect 2. Anyway, Foos, you should say things.
Hello, I'm Foos. I'm still making sure things are working on our end. Our poor Evie, for some reason, keeps getting kicked out. So, geez, I hope it doesn't last long. But anyway, I'm Foos. I am the DM for Awakenings, which is our short series, which will be ending about mid-March or so. So we are just about at the halfway point through this short adventure, which is very, very exciting. And then also I DM for Difficult Terrain, which is normally on Saturdays, which is just always a good time. They have to fight a mirror assassin that just popped out of a little girl's eyes, and it'll be fine. So that's what's happening over there. And then also every other Monday, I'm on Rev's stream. We're doing Pathfinder. We're all fumbling the rules, and it is a good time. But we're having a lot of fun there, and I just found out that a caterpillar that I made on stream, because I was the last person to be introduced, so I just sat there and went, what should I do? I'll have my my character befriend a caterpillar, and the DM apparently turns it into an important character. So we'll find out what happens about that next episode. I'm very excited for it. Anyway, that's all of us, and I think that's all of our things that we do and things. So from here, we'll give a quick recap, we'll give out the inspirations, and then we'll hop back into it. So as has been described by a few folks here, everybody, all of our wonderful heroes have unfortunately died and have found themselves in the afterlife of some kind. Whereas all of the other souls seem to take the form of motes and float along on a path of some kind, everybody in this group seem to form into some sort of spectral versions of their normal bodies, and have had some strange encounters, have had some strange memory recalls, and a devil tried to steal the satyr boy, but was rescued mostly by himself, but also, well, mostly by his team, and then himself at the end. It was a very good tag team. He wouldn't have been able to do it without all the heals that went on. So that was huge on everybody's part, was doing work. So with the devil dispatched, well, actually he disappeared and the other two were murdered, thankfully. The rest of you started to also notice that if you separate from the motes for too long, there does seem to be adverse effects, and most of it seems to be tied into the way in which you died. Calcepitus was starting to feel the freezing ice of his death. Others were feeling the puncture wounds of arrows if they were shot and such. But retreating back to the safety of the moats, the team has more than likely found a little bit of peace for a second before being pulled into a memory of Calcepitus. However, it seemed to give a little bit more information than what he was privy to, as clearly he died in the morning. He was able to witness somebody returning to his body, and the team was able to sort of witness that in a way that wasn't the same as the other visions. Something felt a little bit different about this. But being pulled away from that, the team is now back within the moats. The avatar that told you all to stick together left not too long ago, but still has not returned from what you can see, at least. But everybody is back within the moats. Memory has faded from you at that moment, and we're going to be picking up there. Before we do, we're going to remind Ava and Evie that the two of you are actually the owners of Inspiration. It was a tie between the two of you, and I normally don't do this, but it's a special 2-part episode today and tomorrow, so let's go. So the two of you have inspirations for tonight. We do inspiration a little bit differently. When they roll the d20, they get to add it or subtract it to a roll. So if I roll something to hit and they want to subtract it, they can. Or if one of their friends fails a roll, they can add their number to that as well.
I have a question. Can I?
Yeah, hit me.
Can I use my inspiration to make the frickin' thing work? Just make it work, so that I can be there.
I wish. Also, hold on. Keep talking if you don't mind, because I know you hopped down. Okay, good. You're good.
Talkie. Okay, good talkie.
Have you employed percussive maintenance?
I don't recommend that. I do not recommend that.
I
Don't do that,
could.
It's a tool in the toolbox.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I will adjust something really quick, and then we'll hop back into this. So, team, you find yourself back in the moats. Avatar still nowhere to be found, but at the moment, at least, everyone is safe. Although the lingering memory of Cal's death is still the last thing that everyone experienced together.
How joyful. I'm still scooping up all the demon goo I can.
Yeah.
So I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
But
Get that goo.
yeah.
And that being said, everyone is able to notice that Thelonious seems to have succeeded against the kind of reliving of his death, and doesn't seem to be affected being outside the moats currently. But the rest of you...
The most socially detached one is taking his death the best. Who knew?
And the meta term is, he rolled a nat 20. And it was awesome.
Oh.
We all cheered. But anyway, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I don't know how many vials you have, but you can very happily collect as much as you can. As many as you have, at least.
So we going towards the boats?
Are you done?
Aren't we currently in the moats? I mean, they seem to be disappearing right here. I don't really know how much farther we're able to go.
The moats disappearing, I believe, has something to do with them being essentially picked up by the representative of their personal afterlife to be taken to their afterlife.
Well, that's lovely. But the winged one was the only one that bothered to take my hand. So I don't know if that's going to work for us. That might just be because of what I am, though. One of you try it, because it might just be that I don't have one.
Wait, that sounds so sad. Am I overthinking that sadness right now?
Locke does not look like upset by what they are saying. Their color has moved back to kind of neutralish, and just it's very blasé.
Yeah. I will note Rahani doesn't have that, oh my god, that hurts. That's just Ava being emotional as fuck.
Yeah. That's valid. That is entirely valid.
But she'll take your hand. Well, do you want another relatively red person to take your hand?
I wasn't actually meaning to take my hand, though I do appreciate it. You are quite muscular. I meant more along the lines of attempting to get something to lead you into your afterlives.
I was always under the impression that there's always something for us, no matter the circumstances, but what it is a different story altogether. I don't know if that's some type of solace, if that brings comfort.
this is all quite unexpected. So, anyway, where exactly are we expected to go from here?
North.
Like, it is out of character. Is there actually any further to go since some of the moats were disappearing here? Like, does it continue?
Yeah, the
Okay.
ones that have disappeared was a very small chunk of them. It was like maybe
Okay.
5% total, but like, and you're noticing the further you go, the slightly slimmer it gets, but you do need to have a keen eye. I believe it was only
Okay.
those who had like high passive perception that
Yeah.
were noticing that something was even happening. But like from a
With
general
Ronnie and Locke,
glance,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. At a general glance, it really feels like the density's like almost the same.
Okay.
And for that, I think Rahani would also kind of she did sort of mention it, but she kind of understands that, especially as a cleric, most likely this is just sort of a path to be traveled until you are pulled or called to wherever you're supposed to go. So those
This
who
is a
are
bus
disappearing, in a way, yeah, those who are disappearing are either possibly getting stolen, like you saw with Cal, or attempt at least, or being called wherever it may be.
You're just on the highway of purgatory until you get off at your exit.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. We'll go the
Choo-choo.
one direction there is to go, because why the fuck not? You
I
die and you end up here
suppose.
to get, what, rejected by older gods? Well, fuck you twice, wherever you are. And the idea you had nothing because you I don't know what you meant by what you are, but you're somebody, and somebody should have picked you up when you died. All of us should have been. And this is shit. It was shit before and it's shit now. I don't know why everyone's so fucking calm.
Well, I'm somewhat grateful to not have ceased to exist, but
We
I
did.
meant more along the lines of I'm speaking to, unless this is a very strange coma dream. Most of us think that when changelings die, it is the end, and there's only so much of us as an individual instead of what we become, that eventually it's just one of the personas of another, as opposed to whatever this is or whatever you were expecting to experience upon death. I'm not really sure how it works for... You look like a tiefling, but I'm not used to them having wings. What exactly are you?
Tiefling, what's that supposed to mean?
I'm just not used to the wings. They're very magnificent. I was not sure what you were. I had never experienced a rat folk either. But he's is not
Skaven.
that. He's not particularly friendly, so
Two
I
syllables.
have not really been attempting to find.
I mean,
much
rat folk
out
is also
about
2
him.
syllables.
I never put too much
Also
thought
two
into it, to be honest, but the gods are around, and apparently they don't like us. Great.
Mine
Point
likes
is,
me. I just haven't found him yet.
right, but
But
you cling to that. Point is, existing in this place with a bunch of lights going that way, things trying to kill you a second time, and nothing to do, isn't great. It's not much better than just being gone. I'm not even sure it's any better.
I mean, look, I can understand the frustration. Something happened in the system for us to manifest consciousness here, because as far as I'm understanding, we are all supposed to be those motes. And from what I'm just gathering, from my own understanding of life and death, and just observing these motes, I think this is the portion where you are just going through your life, making sure that the scales are balanced before you are dropped off wherever you need to go. This is the portion where you are being judged, and you're just waiting for that judgment to finalize. That's how I'm reading it, at least. So, while it is miserable to not be picked up, you're just waiting. I'm assuming the system is in place for a reason. Not giving an excuse, but I think it's for a reason.
Well, they can judge this. How about that? I don't even care about getting picked up at this point. I shouldn't be dead. Some fucker shows up and just decides I get to die today. I had shit to do.
I like him. He's
Most of
feisty.
these modes had shit to do.
Isn't that what murder is?
And not a lot of people are ready for death, so not a unique thought.
Either way, I'm quite grateful to, be continuing. So all of this is just more than I would have expected. And I'm assuming that we've just kind of been floating along with the moats as we've been chatting instead of trying to basically work against the flow.
Yeah, I imagine so.
So, Locke is once again in that not quite carefree, partially upside down, hands behind their head, lounging pose as they float, since it's not really a having to walk situation.
Not a problem. All right. So this is actually going to be, from a meta perspective, the last episode in which you may randomly encounter things in this space. After this episode, things are going to be a little more controlled.
Okay.
That being said, I do need a volunteer for the next roll.
Me. What do I roll?
A D2. Actually, no, I'm sorry. A D12, please.
Someday it'll be my turn to be cursed by food. With these rolls.
It'll be me. Yeah, don't. Everyone has moments. It's just we have some random things that could also happen. With a 5, I will also need everybody to roll me a D20.
My bad, y'all.
All right, Thelonious. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Seriously?
Seriously?
It's on brand. It's on brand.
I even asked for help.
I give you such a big window to roll above me, and you snuck in under it.
Yeah, I was like, you and Joe was a race to the bottom with a 3 and a 1.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
It might be good. It might be the higher you are, the more likely, whatever.
Though we may be friends, Joe, our dice are rivals, and I appreciate that element of our relationship.
Listen, you don't get to wear the crown of low rolls if no one keeps you honest.
True that.
I need to make sure someone's here to really fuck with me.
Is this my enemies to lovers trope?
Thelonious, as you are more or less kind of listening in on some of the conversation that's happening, and then it sort of trails off as most of you are just kind of floating along. Ironically, I think you're still under the effects of that flying potion that you drank. It gave you the least helpful option of those. With a little bit of flight and floating, you are all moving along with the boats. But it's a little bit of time until you start hearing a very deep and rumbling voice kind of echoing, rattling around in your head. You very much understand that this is not, it's not your ears that is picking up this sound. It's just directly into your mind. It's fuzzy and you can't quite understand it. But there is something that is unmistakable to your memories, mostly. And that is the cadence of Skaven speak.
Quickish.
It is someone else speaking that you're hearing, but you can't quite make out the words just yet.
I don't recognize the voice.
Not at the moment, but you can give me a history check to see if you can try and recall.
Okay, Thelonious for real now. You cannot biff this one.
See?
Oh,
There you go.
Oh, it's not a hit. No, that's
He doesn't
not
have advantage,
That's a 3.
Fuck.
which is so sad because it was a 1, 3, and 20.
Dude, you just tripled your roll.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're right. That brings the
Big
average up
rude.
to 2.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a deeper voice for sure, but unfamiliar. And the rest of the team, you'd likely start noticing Thelonious kind of slowing a little bit.
Skaven, I think, like, eavesdropping is like the second thing they learn, other than not get chewed by your siblings. So I imagine he's trying to position himself in the best possible way to hear everything.
In your mind. Hear everything in your mind. Special
Yep.
positioning.
Yeah, I honestly think Thelonious would probably get pretty frustrated pretty quickly, because there is no way to position yourself and hear this better, or to like get eyes on anything. Nothing. It's just almost droning, but it's continuous. You can go ahead and give me an insight check if you want to see what you can
All
pick
right,
up
she's
from
trying
it.
to turn me into the laugh factory here. All right, no doubt.
No,
I got
listen,
you. You
I'm
said
giving
insight?
you opportunities to feel better about
Insight.
yourself.
I got opportunities
Yeah.
for you right here. There's an opportunity for you.
Oh my!
Up by 2 again? In like
You're
5
climbing that
rolls, you're gonna be rolling some pretty good numbers.
You're climbing out of that pit. We're here for you though, okay? Yeah, it's deep and it's droning, and it doesn't seem to stop. It feels like it might be getting a little bit louder, but it doesn't stop.
How am I hearing voices in my head? How come I can't hear them louder? Need a big amplifier. Not enough time.
Picturing you shoving some rabbit ears into your own skull.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's just gonna like rummage through his pack. I like Nenners, the player, knows he doesn't have anything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of those things like I have to have something.
He's just doing the best he can,
Yeah.
exactly. But the longer it goes, the slightly louder it starts to get. It doesn't clear up as much as you would prefer. But go ahead and give you let's go for another one of your proficiencies here, Nanners. Hit me with a perception check.
Here comes the 7.
I know. They're like all negatives except for that history check, I'm pretty sure.
Don't make fun of me.
I'm not trying to. Oh my god.
Listen, man, we had an agreed upon scale, and you're dialing it back. It's gonna take you twice as long to get to good rolls if you keep this up.
We're getting them out of the way now, so that later on, you know, it is just.
Flanny was
smooth
talking
sailing.
shit about having a committee. I was like, no, man, this is
It's just me.
a club with the president. Sorry, you're saying.
Yeah, no, you're fine. It doesn't clear up for you. It just feels annoying. And of the group, who do you think would be, not necessarily Thelonious, but as a team, is there anyone who thinks they might be a little bit closer to Thelonious than, say, the others?
I mean, probably not me. It's one of the things that has let me maintain my anger a little bit longer, because it's hard to just stay angry, but there's no way to storm off. So
Yes, it's just like
that
floating ahead a
anger
little
at
bit.
not being able to leave angry
Yeah.
kept it going for a minute. So I'm pushing ahead.
You mean close like friendship?
Oh, proximity, but that is so sweet.
I was like,
Oh my gosh.
I also did read it as like, oh, closeness as like social link wise, or
Oh, no, I apologize. No, proximity.
it.
Yeah, like
I read physical
in
distance.
marching order.
I thought he needed a friend. I think I'm
Same.
Can you imagine if I was like, who's his friend? Don't hold his hand, please.
Yes.
We've already had 2 incidences of high hand holding now. Why not?
We did. It all came from Locke, too. Hand holding queen.
I think I'm the farthest away. I'm the farthest in front, face down, floating. After the events of last session, Cal is kind of shut down just a little bit.
Floating like a dead body in a river.
Yeah.
Awful. I don't know if Evie's back, but they also said that they were floating around, so it might be Rahani who's closest.
God, yeah, I was going to say, I think Rahani, it's going to kind of default back to you, but with the current formation and Thelonious kind of falling behind a little bit, just in your, also you do have good passive perception, so this helps as well, but there's a time where you feel like you start hearing some whispers as well, or just something kind of tickling at the back of your head, and kind of like turning to look. It's very hard to make out, but you're starting to see what almost feels like maybe like a spectral hand or something silvery and reaching towards you, but or not you, but Thelonious. But go ahead and give me I'll let you choose if you're gonna kind of at a quick glance try and identify it. It would be perception. But if you are like really studying and like stopping to look and to the point where you might not be able to react in time, you can give me an investigation.
We'll do perception.
All right. Natural 2. Ah, it's rough. It's rough. No, but
Hold on. You have a +5 bonus to your. Oh, that's the passive. Never mind. Okay.
yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, it doesn't.
Crumble.
You turn to look, and you are starting to hear something as well, but you're starting to hear it's in a language or a cadence that you are not familiar with. It kind of sounds like the way he speaks, but otherwise you're not sure. But what you do kind of make out is at least a clawed hand reaching for Thelonious. And it just kind of comes in almost like flashes. It's there and then it's gone, and then it's there and it's gone. And it almost looks like it's pulled back each time, and that it keeps reaching forward again and then getting pulled back again. Like it's struggling to reach for him, but it can't grasp onto him. Thelonious does not seem to recognize or react to said hand.
Is it possible to gauge, like, vibe-wise, like, the intention behind the grabbing?
Okay, for this, I'm gonna say yes. Go ahead and give me an insight check for your vibe check on the hand.
Disappoint me, insight. Don't disappoint me, I swear
Are
to
those
God.
fingers moving maliciously or no?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Okay, good. I think this is like, it sounds goofy, but I feel like it's almost, you're just reading the body language, right? Like someone trying to grab something that's theirs and is like, give that back to me, or something that's trying to like slash at someone. Like you can kind of read the body language of the hand in that sense. And I think that's what Rahani's kind of reading into right now. It feels like it's reaching to collect him. But especially after you just watched the devil try to collect your friend not too long ago, it doesn't feel like aggressive, or at least malicious in that sense.
Ooh, I have suspicions. Okay. Rahani is gonna float back a bit to be around the same distance as Thelonious. Tell me about your... What is the name of your god? The... Oh...
The Great Horned Rats! Yes!
thank you.
The moment he says great horned rat, you watch as what looks like 4 or 5 horns seem to just grow out of his head for a second and then disappear immediately.
Huh. In your faith, do they tell of how he comes for you all?
No. If you die serving his needs, you just kind of appear next to him. And if you're a bad rat, he eats you. Which, by the way, I do like you, so I'm gonna put in good word. So he eat you first.
Not the way I expected that to end.
Thank you.
Oh,
Although, I will say, after, you know what, never mind. We don't need to talk about that. Don't have to think about that. This is going to sound... If I'm meddling, please let me know. Are you ready to rest?
It's a bit of like existential dread for a second. Where he's like,
That's
"Oh,
all
this is just supposed to happen." I wasn't supposed to have a choice in any of this. But, hey, I'd like to go back and finish my work. But guess if it's the Great Horned Rat's will.
I noticed, looking back, that there seems to be a voice and like a hand reaching for you, but it doesn't seem malicious. It comes and goes. It comes and goes. I'll let you know. But I think it's reading that caution.
Interference. Where are we? That was likely my ride home.
Could be, or it could be your great horned rat trying to collect.
Yes, good thing. Good thing. Well, for me, not for you, but good thing.
But due to its emotions it's making, it seems to be... It's not as malicious as that devil trying to take Cal, but it doesn't seem to be in a rush. So
I
I
served
think...
faithfully. Further science would not be malicious.
Just be... I guess... I personally... Friendship... How to word this? I personally would like to see what everyone wants to happen to them happen. I suppose just be cautious of the choice that you're making, because it either is going to be one, we get to go back miraculously for whatever reason, or two, you finally rest. And I think it's waiting for you to make a final decision on that.
Go back to my ruined corpse, filled in a gas-filled room? No. I see the horned rat, please.
All right. Well, would you like to be alone for that potentially to happen, or would you like company in that? A witness, so to speak.
Do what you will. The voices in my head, infuriating. I can't think.
Well, at least it's not Cal playing the music right now.
That's true.
Although he's quite talented.
His pan flute.
Still face down.
Yeah. He just starts playing a sad song.
That word phrase I would use.
It's catching.
I love how menacing what you said was out of context. There's a hand reaching for you.
Are you ready
Never
to
making
rest?
making contact. It comes and goes.
That's just how she talks.
You just gotta rip the Band-Aid off. You know, hypothetically, if you were to get snatched right now.
Are you okay with being stabbed by the Grim Reaper? Okay, cool. But
It's especially funny that these questions are being aimed at the rat right now. This would be a very different conversation to anyone else, but he's just like, yes, I'm good with that. My body's fucked. I guess I'm fine.
Thank
I also
God
really
you have your bed.
enjoyed the reverse Jehovah's Witness. Make you knock to just, hi, have I heard of our Lord, your Lord and Savior, the Great Horned Rat?
He's gonna eat you. Rahani doesn't want to be eaten again, allegedly. Still don't have full confirmation that happened, but it probably happened.
Accurate. But in the time that you guys have this conversation, and again, it's kind of hard to keep track of time. Things are kind of moving in all different ways, but there's no, obviously, sunlight or anything here to track that. But it feels like a long batch of minutes before Thelonious, the voice starts to fade off again. And Rahani, you don't see the hand coming for him anymore. But almost in the same moment that you kind of start realizing that that has passed, both Rahani and Thelonious, the two of you, hear another voice, but it's not speaking in any way. Instead, it's just, oh, before it fades off again.
That is not rats. Is that quickish? Is that how we speak?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Sound like small man-thing child.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
I wonder where my wife is, says Ava.
Says Ava, yeah.
Where's my wife?
Is your wife small?
Back.
No, it's just a beautiful angel lady who's just gone right now. I miss her.
Aw.
Rahani's indifferent right now.
But Ava wants her back.
He's smart enough to figure out that you're not actually married, so he's just gonna launch that one away.
I'm married to my
We'll log
work.
that one, move on. There you go. But with that brief encounter, I do need another D12 to be rolled.
Eva, it's your turn.
Oh, okay.
Don't you trust it? Don't roll it. If you don't roll it, Foos can't hurt us.
Yeah, I'm just like volunteering Ava for us.
Or it's just if I roll
Y'all
good,
signed up for
then I
this!
get hurt. Joe's gonna get hurt.
Oh my
That's
god,
true.
if you
I
roll for
had
Joe
been-
getting hurt again.
Because that's what happened last time. I rolled and it ended up being his thing.
He will be hurting me. Is that? Look at the face you just made. It is me, isn't it?
Joe's
Look at your
getting
face.
hurt again.
All right.
Happy Black History Month. Oh no.
All right. Twist tonight, Foos. I can take it.
Oh my god. Hilarious.
Is it really Joe this time? The smile.
Do
It
it.
can
Just
be,
like
is the
glasses.
problem. And the problem is, okay, alright. It's down
Listen,
to two
ain't
people.
no one gonna judge.
Uh-huh.
It's down to two people, and it's genuinely Rahani and Ben. So I need to roll off between the two of you.
Oh, shit! Wow, Joe said not me.
Okay.
Not
Glasses is the
today.
one time rolling high was what made you be the person.
Not today is exactly what has happened. But instead, you know what? I don't remember if you even said this on camera or if it was during our start when you were like, something bad will happen to me eventually. We are
We were on
finally
stream.
having a Rahani, oh good, encounter.
Good. We need that Rahani
But-
lore.
Yeah.
You need some Rahani lore. You do. You absolutely do.
Where's
my
lore?
But as you are floating along, it's a good amount of time. It feels hard to not think of anything other than all the lives that are kind of floating by you and how long ago maybe Chifundo had passed on his way. You hadn't really got any kind of confirmation for that, but just seeing the timeline in which Ben had lost his friend and then caught up with him, it feels like he'd probably be pretty far along by now.
Hold on for a second.
Wow. Wow. That's gonna get
Stop.
hurt and not
You're good.
even be in here. That's just
Oh
rude.
my gosh.
As if real life should take precedence over make believe
How dare
kingdoms. Oh, and now we're walking
Like, full
away.
on
All right.
leaving. Full hell
All
I'm
right,
leaving
I
this.
see what this is. I see what this
Girl,
is. Talking a big
This is
game
what
and
she
like, no,
signed up
hurt
for.
Joe.
Yeah.
Go hurt Joe. That's what that was.
Joe, roll me a D. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, just have Locke randomly
Oh my
talking
God.
to her contact and getting all of the tea in the meantime.
All right. Well, I was gonna do a thing, so we can just fill time if we know. Never mind. We're good.
Oh, okay. I was like,
We fixed it. We
I'm
fixed
so
it. Good.
sorry, my roommate's sick right now, so
oh no, you're okay.
I'll just
I hope your
You're
roommate feels
dying.
better.
I'm good now.
Amazing. No, you're good. But you are again thinking of the lives that are passing. Chifundo, who you haven't seen, you imagine that he's further along, hopefully exactly where he needs to be, which is also that Ayun had come and picked him up at this point. But as you're continuing on, it's a decent amount further ahead. But you do see one moat that is stagnant. It's just stopped in the middle of all the others.
Huh?
She told herself not to mess with any of them. But also just curiosity. That's the one point in intelligence that she has. That's one.
It's a portal.
She's gonna just float a little bit closer to it. See if, like, can moats take on damage?
You'll see. No, but you get a little bit closer, and it almost feels like it kind of turns to face you, even though there is no shape to it. It's just kind of a glowing blob of some kind. But you feel its attention on you, and it feels familiar. It also feels as though it's sort of beckoning for your hand.
We've had 2 handholds. The third one's never good.
She's gonna, like, just tap it a bit and, like, linger on the finger on it real quick. Were you waiting for me?
As soon as you tap it, there is overwhelming guilt that kind of flows through you. And as you connect with this emotion, you're recognizing it's not your guilt, but the guilt of the moat you're speaking with. And you hear a very familiar voice you haven't heard in a very long time. Deep and rumbling, but... My child, I am so sorry. And you recognize this to be your father.
I didn't expect to hear you here. Or even remember me.
She made sure that I would. She wanted to find you again.
She's gonna stop for a bit. Well, actually, she's gonna keep floating, but she's gonna, like, kind of cradle the moat so they can just float along with each other. You shouldn't blame yourself. Those are the sins of our ancestors that caused this to happen.
There's no parent who wants to be the cause of their child's death. I know we haven't seen each other in a while, but... you shouldn't be here.
None of her daughters should be here, if they are here.
I think She's still coming for you?
Why? She got me in the end. She took my mentor along with me. I'm here. What more does she want?
A nugget of perhaps something to ensure that I stayed scared, but she did impart the details of her need for souls. The particular way you die is likely the way she can collect you in time when she needs it.
When I was taken, what was life like afterward?
Boring. You were my first. I understand why you left, but I missed you so much.
Did Mother feel the same?
She did. And she left not too long after you.
I suppose you're on your way to join her. Why did you stop?
She did something, I think. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check, actually.
Okay. That's fine.
It's not terrible. I would say with your passive insight alone, you'd be able to kind of read that there are likely details that he's kind of leaving out at the moment. Likely prioritizing just being able to speak with you at the moment.
How about a deal? I'll tell you about the happy years I had when I was able to escape. In return, before I let you go again, you have to prepare me for what's going to happen.
It would be remiss of me not to warn you, at least, that I'm forgetting myself in this place. I don't remember meals we've had. I'm struggling to remember our home, but there are still some details that haven't left me yet. And that's you.
I never thought you two would care. I thought it was just the way of the curse, the way of the pact. You just give up the first, and you just move on. I didn't. I curse many things, but I didn't wish to curse you with that guilt.
My guilt is in letting you leave. And not leaving with you. It takes loss for you to understand what you didn't appreciate. How did I let you go?
Well, you have me for the time being. I can tell you of my temple.
Yeah. Share that with me.
And she'll share. She'll tell about the first hag that she was able to kill with help. How she hunted down some motherfucking bastard incel vampire some time ago. I made friends along the way with that. But just, she was able to have some peace, albeit with some pain, but she had peace for the time.
And the more you speak with him, the more you're starting to almost like hear his attention starting to drift in some ways. And not because he's not trying to ignore you, but it almost feels like he's struggling to kind of hold on to his awareness of the situation and of you and of himself.
It's okay, you know. You can let go. I'll be fine.
Daughter, I have to honor your bargain at least.
Please.
She said she has intentions to collect your soul. And the only way she was able to find and cast such a spell was with the blood of a relative. Unluckily, I happened to be nearby. She ensured that the best she could offer was a chance to speak with you one last time. So, I remain here to speak with you. But you will continue on, and I will not.
I already told my companions that there's a vengeance that I seek. I want her head, and that will never change. And I don't care what form I have to take to get that done. But I suppose I have more reason to wanting to make her suffer. So, let go. Drift until it is time for you to be back with Mother. But just be comforted with the thought that just like I did in my life, I will make that hag's life a living nightmare to the point that she wants to take her own life instead of facing me. And know that I'll make you proud.
You already have.
Rest
I
easy.
love you, daughter.
Rest easy, Father. And she'll let him go to float.
Much like those of you who witnessed with Ben speaking to his friend, it's slow and doesn't feel like it picks up very much, but eventually it does. But certainly slower than the friend you witnessed earlier.
I'm gonna murder her and all of her sisters. I'm gonna make it slow and painful. Maybe I'll make them eat each other. Whichever comes first. And she'll just keep floating.
And float, everybody still does. And
Are
with
you
that,
still face down? Sorry, if we're moving on.
no, you're good.
Yeah, what?
Face down, ass up.
Yeah, so like, you know how like you tell a kid to go to their room and they just like lay face down on their bed, and just hands at their sides. That's how Cal is floating along.
I was going to address that, but if you need to move on, we don't need to.
No, go right ahead. You got time.
I also want to know what the fuck happened when I went to take care of the dog, because I came back and we're talking about holding hands and Cal being like face down, ass up as you're floating along. What the fuck?
It was intense.
It was is just real sad about what happened at the end of last episode. So he
Okay.
is just disassociating. And I think that was more or less.
All right. Continue. Do you think, Ben?
Well, I'm going to just float up. You're killing me. Just float upright.
He flips over like a log in a river, and you see he has the pan flute in his hands, and like it's up to his mouth, but he's not playing anything right now, and he's just got the most "I'm tired, boss" look on his face. Just no tears anymore, but he's just dissociating.
I mean, up is relative now, right? But yeah, come on, get up. I'm gonna offer you a hand, because that has become the symbol of awakenings.
Harlot.
You're holding hands with everybody.
It is different. I'm pulling someone to their feet. It's not the same.
Sure.
I take your hand.
I'm gonna pull you into an upright, standing, like we're still floating. It's weird.
Yeah.
They'll get you standing, and then just kind of just a clap on the shoulder. Just not that you don't have good reason to be sad about it, but fuck that. Get pissed. You died because no one bothered, and that's sad, but it's infuriating. Someone isn't picking you up, and if there's anybody here who should have been picked up. So my point is, we gotta find them, and we'll kick the teeth in, and then you get to go wherever you're going. But this isn't how we get there.
And so the tiny satyr in his nightshirt with the pan flute in his hand looks up at Ben and just nods. Goes, yeah, okay.
Well, you gotta believe it. I can't believe it for you. I mean, I do believe it, but I can't believe it for you. Point is, I said it earlier, you got the short end of the stick twice, and now you're stuck with us. But if you're gonna be stuck with us, we might as well be useful to you. I didn't have a lot of friends. 3 to be exact, and that was before I left home. So then I had no friends. So maybe we can each be a friend, because I think we both needed one.
Cal, like his eyes like start filling up with tears, and his lip starts quivering. He's just,
None of that. Stop it.
he gives Ben a big old hug.
This was a pep talk to get mad. Pat you on the head, I
We're
guess.
friends.
Yeah, well, you go through shit, you know.
And start playing the pan flute.
Yeah. Yeah. I got more personal than I intended. Ben lost the thread.
Yeah, Ben's really good at that.
My statement still stands. Harlot.
How dare. I am nothing if not loyal.
Sure.
Oh my god. Adorable.
You can say that, but I picked him up and then left him, and then the first handhold, it went on forever. It was so long.
That's very true.
So
was
Cal's
about
a
to say,
one-night
he's-
stand. Got it.
He's allowed to pick our child up. That's our son right there.
Hey. No?
accurate though.
Nah.
Oh
He's being a good dad.
Nah.
no. There you go.
Like I said, he was killing it. I can't look at sadness that long.
Oh my god, that is the funniest way to approach someone too, though, right? Like they're just like sadly in the corner of this, like you're killing me. You can't. I need you to just.
I don't
pick
do
it up, get it
sadness. You need
together.
to stop this.
Yep.
Like that's the funniest way to approach it. Oh,
It's just
God.
the awkwardness. I'm sitting here fuming, and your energy is bringing me down.
You being upset, I can't be angry with that. Like, and I want to be angry. How dare you?
I can't be more mad at you dying than you're mad at you dying. I need you to be mad at you dying.
Yeah.
You're ruining this for me.
He's such a non-confrontational person. He's just like, I guess that's fine.
Well, it took Ben a minute to get this pissed too, because he's normally just been like, whatever, everything's shit, just roll with it. We'll get through it eventually. But we're done. We're at the end of the line. There's no getting through it. We're dead. So I'm out of roll with it. None left in stock.
I think this might actually be a good spot for us to take a break, because if the next thing runs too long, I don't want us to all be dying. So we'll take our break a little bit early. So it's about 8:15, so let's be back at 8:25. But we'll take just a regular 10-minute break. And we'll be back in like 10 minutes. And then we have some more random encounters. And then we get into some other stuff too. Anyway.
Fingers crossed that you'll be able to see me when we come back.
Yes, fingers crossed. Pray for Evie, please. Anyway, we'll be right back. Bye. Break time. 5 means we're live. We're back with Awakenings. We're going to be hopping back into this. We just had some pretty entertaining interactions between folks, including one that was just, you need to pull it together. You're killing me out here being sad. So some highlights and some dad jokes that were told behind the screen, and we were grateful for it. And
Everyone's always grateful
I'll
for
put words in my mouth. I wasn't grateful for it.
You were.
No, we were grateful that it wasn't on stream. There's no
yes.
recorded evidence of it.
Yes.
Oh, well, that
we don't-
that frames my lovely humor in a far different life. I don't appreciate this.
That's true. Joe's a terrible person. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, hopping back into this, it is still kind of we're still kind of in exploration phase of this space before things kind of change a little bit. So I do need another volunteer for another D12. I kind of want it to be Evie because I feel like she's been just having bad luck, and I want you to have something.
All right.
I feel like
So
when
if
Evie
you're
rolls
down-
dice, I feel pain.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Every time she rolls, I'm in pain. That would be so shitty. Like,
so
God,
is
that
6 Ben? Please tell me 6 is Ben, because that would be hilarious.
Incredibly, 6 is not Ben. Well, it might be. I don't know. We'll find out. D20s from everybody, please.
No, I was good with other people rolling.
Here we go.
I had some.
What?
Cal's gonna die for a
not
third
Cal.
time. son.
Not Cal! Please not call
We
Cal.
just got Ben to
Please
give him a
not
pick
Cal.
me up.
No.
Dang. That's too sad.
Okay.
I mean, technically, you have D20 inspirations if you want to save Cal.
Thank you. I also just got a DM inspiration, so I
This
can
kid's
use
a-
it to
it's a good
nudge
person now and
people
again,
around if
and we
necessary.
appreciate
but-
it.
Xanthos, I just want to point out, she's not gonna leave here until you're ugly crying. That's your goal. So,
God, you've rolled so terribly for all of these. Holy shit. Okay.
A lot of 8s. I guess just 2 8s. I saw that 3 of red 8. I was too quick.
I was like, I think it's just 2, but I guess that's a lot. I
You're
don't
right.
know.
You right, and I'm wrong.
You're good. So, once again,
Can I volunteer to take Cal's place?
you know what?
I'm able to with the demon, but I'll do it here. I
As
tried.
players, I will say if you wanted to, I will allow that if you wanted. But it's fully up to the both of you.
He is in psychological and emotional pain. I
He's
will,
going through it.
Yeah, if Cal, you do not want to suffer even more, you can throw that right on lock.
It's
If it wasn't
up
for
to
the
y'all.
fact that if it wasn't for the fact I just had my turn, I would also offer Rahane.
Everyone is protecting the child, and I love
Yeah.
it.
It's
I
up
will
to
protect
y'all.
you, my son.
Xanthos,
don't
I'm
believe
gonna
that.
put it. I'm gonna put it in your hands. You're the unlucky holder of the nat 1, so I will let you decide.
No, I think the dice don't lie. The dice do
Alright.
not lie.
Alrighty.
Let's
Fell
just honor
forward,
the
my friend.
dice.
Emotional
low and go
trauma.
in
There we
peace.
go.
It's been real. Here we go.
It's been real. I'm gonna go, guys. This is my time. In what feels like just terrible timing, as Ben has taken a moment to kind of lift your spirits in a way that he wasn't intending, but wound up being the end result. Pan flute starts playing again. You're not feeling like yourself, of course, but it was a step in the right direction. It was something to kind of snap you out of that mindset for a moment. Until you start hearing a voice that you heard not too long ago in your mind. And it echoes and plays directly into your mind, but it feels like it's radiating from you. And Ben, since you're very close after your unintentional hug session, you also start hearing it. And those of you who are kind of closest are also starting to hear it a little bit. I imagine Felonius being a little bit further towards the back is probably the one who just kind of hears the softest of whispers in it. But you start hearing, Oh, I've never done this before. What do I say? Okay. I didn't know your name. I'm sorry that you died. And I wish we could have seen you before you died. It scared me, but the clerics have been teaching me about where you go, and that you'll be safe, because you were a good person, because you gave us food. Did you follow anyone? They said that you'll be collected, I think. They're gonna keep us here for a little bit, so we won't be as cold, which is nice. Maybe we'll stay. You were glowing after you died? I think that means you're okay, right? I think you're okay. You'll be okay. They said that we'll see each other again sometime. I hope we do. I hope I see you again. Thanks for feeding us. Bye. You slowly hear what you are realizing was some kind of prayer directed towards you.
That's cool.
Fade off.
That's cool. Love that.
It's giving the vibe of like a little child just at her bed, just kneeling in front of her bed, being like, "Dear God, can you please let the nice satyr man know that we're okay? Thank you."
Jeez.
So everyone heard that, not just Cal?
Yes. I'm sorry, my dad is calling. You can roleplay, let me just tell him like I gotta call back real quick.
Yeah.
Everybody
yeah.
failing.
So as that voice radiates from, I guess, my personage, I slowly stop playing the pan flute, and almost like it's coming from an intercom, I just look above me for some reason, just like instinctual, as I listen to what's being said. And then when the voice disappears, Cal just like shrinks down into the nightshirt and just like floats in the fetal position, and just like all that work that Ben did completely unraveled. He is back in. He is now just a little satyr ball inside of Moo, floating along with the moats. He just is. He's having a bad time. No words, just that reaction.
Did spirits talk to him through his little? What is that? You call it flute? Fluted?
Oh my goodness.
It's like multiple pipes strapped together. I don't know what to call it. Anyway,
No, technically with spirits. So, somebody living talk to spirits through the pen flute.
Colonius' mind ponders.
It's just like
He's like,
Calculations.
Well,
wait a minute.
obviously, that wasn't. I mean, it was said, but you know, you made a difference.
Yeah, I did. It's something. They
More than most.
they're living with the clerics now, as they prepare my dead body for something. The burial. I'm not really sure how satyrs are buried upon death. I don't know.
Did they? Do you know which temple it was?
No, I didn't catch that. If she said it, I was too busy internalizing the crushing realization that I made a lasting impact on this child I threw a piece of bread to. So it's a lot to take in. I'm just gonna be down here if you guys need me. I just need a minute.
Take your time. Take your time.
Do you process by curling into a ball?
Well, the last time I curled into a
Inefficient,
ball,
but if
I
that's
didn't wake
how
up.
you
So
work, that's not good.
I mean, I like the shirt. The shirt protects me, kind of.
The shirt protects you from dying.
The devil
again.
kind
Oh,
of
wait,
ripped through the shirt.
You
But
didn't die again, that's true.
that is true. Yeah,
Maybe the shirt did protect you.
it is a nice shirt.
I figured it out. Was that who you gave your fur to? Yes.
No!
No.
Daters are just like that!
Symbolically, yes. Probably. You place a lot of importance on fur. It's a part of who you are, correct?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm trying not to get too close since you're not particularly fond of me.
Too many teeth.
I can make fewer of them, but well, it's a symbolic. I would imagine that if it was the small humanoid that he gifted something to, that it's like he gave his fur.
Impressive. Only has one arm. Has to get in difficult places with shears.
Well, I mean, it's still an arm. It's just not my arm. It's made of wood and metal and magic. Oh, and it works. I'm honestly surprised it's here with me. But I'm glad to have two arms. Would have been a lot harder to not freeze to death in the afterlife sea if I only have one arm.
Interesting. My scars healed. I can breathe normally without wheezing. Which, not normal given history. But you lost arm and still don't have arm.
You normally wheeze more than this.
Yes!
That is news to me as well.
Seared lungs!
It's just,
Cal's
nothing wrong with it. It's just how you talk.
Cal's gonna make a note of what Thelonious said. Even though it's been talked about prior, it didn't really hit home until now that he should have both arms, but he still has his prosthetic arm. So, but
Someone no like you.
Still in his shirt ball, he's going to. You hear muffled pan fluting, sad pan fluting from inside the shirt.
Muffled pan fluting. It's
He just needs a minute, guys. He just needs a minute.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I almost feel like I need to put a pause, you need to cool down or something for you.
Cool down.
Cal, cool down, because it's the unfortunate hammer keeps landing on you and it's wild.
Listen,
Yeah.
no more cooldowns on this boy. It's what killed him.
No, leave!
Get
Oh
out.
my god. This is a good time to remind you that
Get
we have
out.
both anti and pro pun emotes. Anyway, oh, from Dice Lore, hello! Cool. No, happy to have you. The end of this does mean that we do need another D12. And I think we had 3 people roll. And
Everyone
I
but
think
me and Nenners.
I think the boys haven't. Oh no, yeah, the boys that I'm mostly familiar with. Pardon me, Xanthos.
Wow.
You are also a boy. No.
Listen,
Nenner's
in
and Joe.
8 or 9 days, you can disregard all men, but right now you can only disregard white people.
So I guess that's you, Dennis. Would you mind rolling a d12 for us?
I would mind. I would actually, but because I'm rather fond of you, and your DM 3 days in a row, I'll do it for you.
Oh, you know.
You don't have to be nice to Foos.
I know. I'm generous. I'm a generous man. That means we just get to float peacefully.
Well, rolling a 1 and a 1, that's a 2.
Or there's a cache of explosives I get.
There. Oh my god. As you are all floating along, who is probably further up in the lineup of the 5 of you? Would it be Locke or would it be Rahani? Who's closest to the
Earlier it
front?
was Cal.
Yeah,
And
of
then when I
those
went
two.
up there,
Probably Locke, since Rahani had kind of fallen back for interacting with Dad. And Locke has just kind of been floating, letting people do their thing, since they are processing this whole death thing significantly differently than Locke is. And only occasionally turning back, usually still upside down.
Okay, sounds good. But that being said, at the front of the group in a way, and also you having the keenest of eyes, in the space outside of the moats, it's a little harder to see. It almost feels like when you're indoors and it's night outside and all the lights are on inside, so looking out into the darkness, it's hard to get details. But, you know, if you focus for long enough or kind of get closer to the edge of the moats, the lights don't quite pollute your vision as much and you can see a little clearer. But just in your kind of habit of constantly keeping tabs on your surroundings, there are a few what feel like floating almost like boulders, or they almost feel like asteroids or something that are just kind of floating off in the distance. And they've always been quite a distance away. But there is one that's a little bit closer that you didn't really notice before. It's very dark, and you imagine that is the reason you weren't able to notice it previously. But the fact that it's there doesn't alarm or catch Locke's attention, but rather, Locke, you notice 2 humanoid figures that seem to be kind of perched on the rock and watching all of the moats go by. And they're far enough that you can't quite make out details, but you certainly can make out that they're looking at everyone.
Locke is not necessarily going to try and raise the alarm, because Cal is still curled into the fetal position. So they're going to kind of just twist slightly like they're stretching, and then exaggeratedly perform like they are strolling, now upright. And they're very dexterous, they're very coordinated, so it's, I would assume, fairly easy for them to look like they have suddenly started performing this almost miming of being out for a midday stroll, keeping that image in like easy viewing.
I would go ahead and give a performance check if you want to kind of also pass it off so that they don't catch on that you caught them.
And I'm hoping that with the high passive insight and passive wisdom from Rahani, that this is an obvious change from the very relaxed way that they have been acting
previously. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Very good. But are you keeping your eyes on them as you do this, or is it more like
just
you kind of
keeping? I'm keeping to where I can still see them. I am not looking directly at them. I'm just angled in a way to where I can still see that direction and perceive whatever might come at us.
Understood. All right. You are able to kind of keep tabs on them, thankfully. I think you would mostly just catch that. It doesn't feel like they're closing in by any means. It just seems like they're just watching. But,
so would Rouhani notice anything odd or
I was actually about to say
that way?
For sure, Rouhani also being the one who is obviously the most perceptive of the rest of the group for sure, but had a little bit of space between the last thing that had happened to her that kind of would have preoccupied her mind immediately. But you would also notice that Locke is certainly acting away and seems to have spotted something.
Yeah.
Can she make a check to see if she can spot what is
Yes.
occupying?
Go right ahead. Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah.
I'll give this to you at advantage because you kind of have an idea of where to, just because of Locke's body language.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. You do also catch the two on the rock, staring at everybody.
And now that I've seen them, can I vibe check them?
Ooh, they're very far. You're certainly welcome to try.
If they're very far, I guess I'll wait a little bit. I want to get closer.
Yeah, you do see that, like, the path of the moats does seem to kind of just continue on, like, parallel to them. So it doesn't feel like you're going to be getting closer at the moment. Just from the path in which you are following.
Got it. Okay. What do I have?
Go ahead.
Thelonious, you
yes.
You seem particularly intelligent. Are you familiar with where we are?
Is that what you're going to say?
Well, I would not consider myself particularly intelligent, so I'm attempting to ask you. This is not what I would consider to be a normal afterlife, and you've mentioned the horny rat thing. Do you have any idea of where exactly we are and what the normal denizens would be?
I would have him roll a social wisdom check to see how it responds to your blasphemy.
Yeah. Yep. Of course.
The great esteemed Skaven, who serve both the great horned rat and the great council of the 13, get to be forever chosen to do the whims and be by his blessed side. The rest of you man-things, who the hell knows what happens to you?
Well, you're not by his side currently, though, which obviously you should be, so where do you think we are?
Rats, we don't have time to think about things like afterlife and where do we go. Life is short and very busy.
Locke will
Nothing
kind of...
but Tom now.
like, while still kind of glancing in the direction of these figures on the floating asteroid thing, will lean toward Cal and be like, see? Even the rat doesn't know what's going on. Like, loudly enough to where Polonius can hear Locke say this.
That's good to know.
Just picking fights?
The heifer named after fungus.
Calcepatus isn't a fungus.
Is that cordyceps?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a little disappointing. Alright.
It's okay.
The thiefling over there. Do you know why we're here?
Okay.
I wasn't saying why. I have a feeling that we're here because we died. I was wondering where we are and, what might normally reside here. Is it just like a sea of tiny stars that I thought would be much larger once I got close to them.
Can I make a check? What type of check would I make for that?
What are you looking for?
What? Because I think Rahani's like pretty certain this is the astral sea of some kind, like some connection to the astral sea. But what type of beings live in the astral sea? I know Githyanki.
I see. History. Yeah, go ahead and give me history.
Yeah, like, Evie is positive that we're in the astral sea. Locke would have no clue and is playing up being an idiot to try and get us to figure
Oh wait, I have
out
a D4. I'll
what
just do
might be
it.
there.
You also have a D20 if you haven't used
But I
it.
want to save. I don't know.
I mean, there's only
We
like an
end up
hour and
in
some change
combat.
left until you don't have a D20.
I didn't know if the inspo carries over to tomorrow, so that's why. I've been
Oh
holding
no, it doesn't. That's a good question to ask. But no, your
Okay,
inspirations
yeah,
do
okay.
expire at the end of the night as usual.
Okay, I'll do it then.
Okay. Nice. All right, so that brings you up to an 18. Yeah, you are starting to kind of recall what creatures are normally found in the astral sea, which is where you're pretty sure you are currently. The thing is, you're starting to also catch a few more details about them, and that's mostly just because you've had the opportunity to just unerringly look in their direction. And what Rahani had seen is that the two of the creatures seem to just lock on target almost to the team, whereas they seem to just kind of be looking around. Instead, they seem to be focused on the team. And in them looking in your direction, both of them seem to be of different builds. Like, you can certainly see that they are likely not the same race, whatever they are. But of the finer details you can make out, they both have pointed ears. Maybe one might be the commonly known Githyanki that are known to be the pirates of this area. But they're also not known to be alone or fraternize with any other race. So it doesn't quite fit for you.
I know Githyanki tend to roam around these areas if this is the Astral Sea. I have also heard rumors that there are elves, similar to how the Shadowfell have shadow elves. There are astral elves, although I don't think I've ever met one. Just
I've met a Shadow Kai before.
So kind of in that vein, but just take the shadow out of it and just put them in the astral sea, and then but then again, elves just tend to pop up wherever the fuck.
Yeah. And
I'm salty that there are sea elves and just tridents are right there. Just have just tridents, but whatever.
Well, no, you need sea elves so you can go, oh, tridents are better because tridents are better.
yeah, tridents are better. Yeah, no, Locke will just go Astral Kai.
I don't think that. Again, wouldn't know. Wouldn't know.
Yeah. And when I realize I'm not on camera, when they said Astral Kai, they like exaggeratedly waved a hand in the air, and to the others, it's in a direction. Rahani, you can see that Locke is trying to point out our observers to the rest of the group without making it obvious.
What's with all the questions anyway? We're where we are, and we'll find what we find. I mean, we can't do much about it.
We have company.
I'm trying to cheer, and I'm saying this louder so that it's less obvious what Rahani's doing. I'm trying to cheer the young satyr up.
We have company, and they've spotted us.
As you're saying this,
Rahani,
Rahani and Locke, as the two of you already had eyes on them, one of the figures has disappeared. And upon staring, like, you guys never broke eye contact either. It wasn't something where you watched them like walk away. It was like they were there and then they weren't.
All right, we're gonna cock the bow real quick. Just get that ready.
Oh, see, you should have said so. And then I'm with a bonus action, turn to stone, and action cast Armor of Agathis.
You going into war fat mode?
What's going on?
Oh, the shirt says.
You should
Ow.
probably uncurl or at least attach yourself to one of us.
Can you do the crab thing again? You may
Yes,
want
I
you
can.
may want to. Not yet. Just keep that in the back pocket just in case.
Cheers, bud. We gotta go. It's bite time.
Yeah.
As you are all
Locke trying to be super subtle and be the undercover type of character that they are. No one gets it other than Rahani.
Passive perception of 9. There's no way in hell I was catching that.
That means it's worse than a commoner's. Just keep that in mind.
My passive insight is 16. My passive perception is 18, and I'm just like, yeah. Rahani's the only one that gets me.
Pick up on it. As all this is happening, the one figure fully disappeared. The other, you get to watch as it seems to kind of kick off from the rock and start floating towards the team.
Yes, you should definitely uncurl.
Maliciously or no?
It's a time for a vibe check.
If you're gonna vibe check.
So Cal's gonna poke his head out and look at the figure and see, hey, what's going on?
Okay. All right. Are you using the 2 for you, or are you adding that to Cal? Or
for me.
Okay, for you. Gotcha. Locke and Rahani, I think the two of you would just pick up is that it's not moving quickly. It just kind of seems to be almost as casually as one can float in this space, heading in your direction. Cal, probably because you're just in a different mindset right now, you're able to kind of look at it, and the rest of your team is like, it's a threat. But you're just kind of like, all right, what is this? Let me take a look. It seems like a very unthreatening figure approaching.
Just what a threat would do is disguise itself. Sorry.
From what you can make out of it,
disguised as a deva.
You can see like bits of what you think is like gear and weapons that are currently stowed away, blades of some kind, but you can't quite make it out. Nothing is drawn, but I mean, you haven't encountered too many creatures out here, but the devil in disguise was certainly one. But this just almost feels like, if you had to put a word to it, almost like an adventurer. There's something just kind of unexpected about seeing it here, but it doesn't feel malicious right now.
All right, so you've got the bow, and I've also got some range. So do we strike now?
Guys, I don't, as I unturtle from my shirt, let's wait just a minute.
Oh, everything other than the sparkly bits around us and the giant angel thing has attacked us. Everything.
Well, yeah, but maybe it's not that.
I'm gonna look at Cal and just do like that stern mom, just like making sure that does he believe that we have no cause to really be alarmed right now? Just get a vibe from him, and she sees that he seems pretty certain of it. It's like,
oh, he's not saying don't be ready, but like Ben was like, okay, so he's taking the first shot, and it's like, no, wait, just wait, just a minute.
let us hold.
Well, I don't really have something to attack at a distance anyway, but...
Sulfur, did I put the sulfur?
Looking for sulfur on himself. But it closes in. It gets a little bit closer, it gets a little bit closer. And with the lights from the moats, you're starting to catch a few more details. And Rahani, you're a little taken aback to recognize that your initial thought was correct, which makes this even stranger. This is a Githyanki woman coming your way, dressed in studded leather armor, 2 blades crossed on her back, floating through the space with a comfort that just seems as though she's been here for a while, or at least that she's familiar with this space. And she seems to just be kind of looking at everyone with a sort of complicated expression. I think just from those of you who are insightful, there's curiosity, there's concern, and there is almost like a solemn expression mixed in. But she approaches until she's about 50 feet away or so, and seems to just kind of stop and then focus as hard as she can before all of you hear within your minds, I am new at this. Can you hear me?
Ah! Ugly elf is in my head!
Theo.
Damn.
I wouldn't actually call them ugly. She's...
Apologies for our friend here. He is
Just
a
because
bit,
she doesn't have fur.
a bit prejudiced against things that are not them.
Yeah, it's because you don't have fur. You're actually very attractive. Hello?
Please
Yes, we can hear you.
understand that I am very familiar with those who are not happy seeing others that look different from yourselves.
Get out!
I would, and you see her kind of stop and start speaking, and it is very heavily accented, common, but broken.
Ooh, love it.
We can speak out loud if you like.
Are you able to... Is besides Thelonious, is everyone okay with the mental speaking? I could just tell him afterwards.
We'll just sit you in the corner.
I mean, it's not my favorite, I'll be honest.
It's being difficult.
Well, I cannot reciprocate the mental communication. There are benefits to it that I've found in the past, and I don't take offense to it so long as it does not come with pain.
Hold on, there's other options. I'm going to try Dwarvish and then Infernal, just in case.
You see her kind of tilt her head and then respond in Infernal. Not my best.
Well, if it's not much better, we can just do the first thing. It's fine.
We can just
You
leave the
all-
small one out. If he's gonna
You all
complain.
hear her voice come through again, but Thelonious, it feels like someone turned the dial down. She's very quiet, but she's still there.
Look at her being considerate! You're being rude, you asshole!
How you get us to lower our defenses and then you strike.
Oh.
I will always be team. You can never make me hate them.
I love
I
them
know.
too. They're my favorite like D&D race. They just
Play Baldur's Gate for a second and then deal with
You will
Lae'zel.
never make me hate
Hazel's
them.
the best!
I know,
Anyway,
on my current run through, I'm trying to like her.
Boss.
Interesting perspectives on Get Yankee here.
But yeah, I know, right? Everyone's all over.
Okay,
Oh my
yes.
god. Sorry, just off topic, the last thing. Xanthos had a very hilarious Baldur's Gate run last night, and I was watching. It was a ride. Excuse me. I wanted to say wild ride, and then wide just came out instead. Anyway, Xanthos is great. Look at his channel if you're not familiar. It's awesome. Anyway, hopping back into this. She looks at everyone, but then resumes speaking mentally. I haven't been able to find others like you in a very long time. I'm not... I don't have all the answers that you may seek, but I can at least explain to you what I have noticed in the past.
Was it sparkly bits floating along? Because that's what we've noticed as well.
Those are the other souls that are traveling along their path as intended. They should end up in at least one location. What happened to your nose?
It's all
What's wrong with your nose? I will say, the more time that she kind of spends around, the more you're kind of picking up a little bit more details. She is still like far enough that it's kind of dark enough for you guys to not pick up all the details. But from what you can see, she seems to have longer hair that's been sort of braided back. Again, something that just seemed particularly Gith in style. Doesn't seem to be wearing metal armor of any kind, but otherwise seems to kind of bear all the typical Githyanki markings, the sort of dark spots around her face. Her eyes are a brilliant green that seem to kind of almost glow in this space. But you, I believe, have been plucked, chosen, spotted, something. I've witnessed this happen before.
Hooray.
And it never ends the same way.
I've been getting the inkling that we're kind of in a holding place. From what I've gathered about the conversations I've had here, from, sorry Ben, hearing your conversation with your friend and what happened with him, it seems that certain people who made us come here intend to keep us here until something.
If that is true, then I believe you are being pulled in 3 different directions. There is
one
where
of them
you should
being
be.
alive again. Sorry.
Well, that depends on a lot of things. But there is a place you belong. There's a place where, depending on who killed you, if they're still interested in your soul, they may be fighting over for you that way. There is another entity that is fighting for you as well. Which is why you're here. I haven't been able to piece it all together, but there are always chances you can come back. But I wish to find out as much as I can and see if there is a way to help, if possible. Or at least find out so others don't have to experience the same. If you're willing to share with me your names, I can return to the material plane. Find things.
So you're not dead.
I'm Cal.
Hard waves. You see her waving back. Hello, Cal.
Are you a devil in disguise?
I am not a devil in disguise.
Insight.
Go for it.
I mean, honestly, he's valid. He's valid.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll
Okay.
also fact check this, like, see how trustworthy.
Absolutely. Okay. It's like it flipped, right? Now that you're in like paranoia mode, you're like, nah. And then after hearing her talk a little bit, Rahani's like, ah, should be fine. Cal, it's hard to read. This is a creature, a race you've never seen before. So there's just a lot that you're trying to like pick up on, and the finer details are being lost on you. Rahani, you're kind of getting the idea that she has been this almost feels like a lifelong project in a way, or like a study that she's been at the cusp of figuring out and is just doing her best to piece it together. It feels like she does feel sorrow for whatever had happened to you or what might happen to you as well. Some sympathy in that sense, but there is also a sort of academic approach to this that's like, how do I quantify what's happening? And she certainly doesn't seem dead, so she certainly seems to be the only one who can return to the material plane in any way.
So you need my name? Anything else?
Location would help. Contacts, perhaps. I could work off of a name, but it would take me longer.
Where I died or what?
Yes, where you died.
Well, fuck all middle of nowhere, but it was kind of near a village thing. Yeah, it's not helpful.
I have something a bit more exact, but you would probably be in danger if you're not actually dead there. So, anyone else?
Real quick, there was another person with you. Are they an associate also working on the same project? It seems that they disappeared.
He works on many projects and doesn't like being seen. But he is working with me.
I don't like that.
Listen,
Just a hard.
And may we ask for your name before we continue?
You may. I am Foster Cal.
I knew it, goddammit.
I really thought it was going to be you may, but I will not give it to you.
Nah, fuck you!
You can ask all you like.
She gave her name to a fae.
I mean, the Fae gave his name right back to her. So.
The fae gave a nickname. That is not the same as giving your name to someone that says,
Basically.
may I have your name?
In case I wasn't clear before, my name is Calcepatus Bledsoe.
Jesus fuck.
Here's the full name.
Yeah, you could have
You're
last
not.
name. Oh my god.
So Locke still hasn't introduced themselves. They're just like, yeah, if you go back to where I died, it would probably be dangerous.
I can give you some pieces. I need to look up contacts again.
I actually didn't think about the name of the town that Cal died in. Just the locality of the alleyway.
In terms of like, if your character would know where that is, you could just say like, I was from such and such. So obviously that's totally fine.
I was killed in what some might call combat and what others would call a distraction. What exactly could you learn from going to where I died?
I have a theory that perhaps the aligning of events or a time or the exact reason of your death is tied to why you are stuck here. So if I have all the details and I can return to this.
Just watching Dubs in the background going squint, squint, stare.
It didn't make it onto stream because it's cropped out, but my husband's like face was just like a tiny little thing in the background, and I caught the end of it. But
Jeez. Just leaning forward and staring at us,
Like a
judging me.
menace.
he's working his way.
Put your eyebrows away, sir.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Okay, sorry. Reeling it back in.
Yeah. So,
Right. She seems to be explaining that she's trying to collect the facts, but she's assuming that something that has to do with the time in which you died, the place in which you died, and how you died might be some of the reasons why you are stuck here.
Well,
those that would know me there would have known me as Farron.
Then I would need whatever details you are willing to explain about yourself. The names or personas that you may have passed yourself off as irrelevant of your race is important to this. Also, please.
Oh, where do I start? And kind of positions themselves between her and Cal a little bit. Again, with that kind of trying to make it look natural and distracting. Oh, where would I start? And they start just these aren't even any that you heard, Ben, when Locke was talking your ear off. It is all just completely lying out their ass as they're trying to like regale this person with fake personas and stories because they are used to being able to create them.
Hit me with a deception check if you are trying to.
Would I be able to have advantage since I'm used to creating personas?
I think if you were acting as that persona, I would say yes, but you're just retelling it, so that's a different skill, I think.
Okay. Fuck. Fuck.
I did whisper her insight check, and I was like, "Ooh, that's gonna be hot." Oh no.
Okay.
Just
a
for
minute.
hilarious
I have inspiration.
You do. I will let you know. Okay. This was the meta information I was about to tell you. You were 18 points shy of defeating her insight check.
Yeah.
It was quite a high bar to pass, but
Yep.
as you continue talking, you watch her green eyes just pull away from you completely and just kind of rest on some of the others as the voice continues to everyone else. But I will also mention that I shouldn't be here very long. But please, if you are willing to share with me, share what you can. There may be things I can even help you with. Maybe not you, but loved ones, I guess.
I can speak. Rahani,
Right.
Rune, Child. 3 points of location that you can follow up on. The place of my actual death. Some people commonly refer to it as the swamps of the trio curse. Located in this region here. That's where I technically died at the hands of one of the hags that reside there. I would prefer you not to go there. You seem lovely, man. I'd rather kill her myself, but neither here nor there. Location of where I was teleported from, technically where my loved ones were, was the Temple of Ayun, located in this region. Here's the name of a couple of the head clerics and wizards there. And if you are located in this region, there is a contact, Griselda Blakesea. If you want to speak with her, there is a code phrase that you need to look for. Look for a very rusted brick outside of this particular building. It will have a code for her for you. If you truly wish to speak with them in earnest, and they'll provide information as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Rahani Runchild.
Thank you, and good luck.
I will need it. Anyone else?
How much time you got?
A couple of minutes.
Oh, I meant to go looking because people are spread out.
Well, I need to find my initial contact, but I can get to the material plane within minutes if needed.
Well, if you're just handing out favors, my name is Benrivar Carfis. I died in the woods near a group of people fleeing danger in the woods. It's a town, I think. I don't really remember the name. But more important, if you go to Eldervale, you'll find Lorana. She is trying to bring me back. And based on what happened to Erden, she's going to die for it. So if you could get there first, that'd be great. And then my parents, who I think are also going to die, well, they traveled out the kingdom. They went far. But their names are things I don't have to look up because they're my parents and I know their names. So this is just me not stalling at all.
Tapping around.
There it is. So, you know, they went east. I think they were getting a ship. It's far, but look for Seraphina and Thaddeus, and then make sure they're not dead, if you could, just as a little extra thing, or at least let them know someone's coming.
want you to know, I had a small bag of snacks. He takes it away and then rustles it loudly and then leaves with them.
Wow. So
I guess
rude.
not for me anymore.
Wow.
That's what I call a supportive husband.
During Black History Month. How dare. How dare. You can tell I said that. I don't know that well. I can say it.
It's fine. He'll definitely laugh. Anyway, you see her settle on you, and as you kind of give her this information, and all of you are noticing she's not writing anything down, but she does seem to listen intently. And towards the end of whatever you're saying, why would someone die for trying to retrieve you?
Well, the son of a bitch who killed me killed the first guy who tried to bring me back. And when I met him as a glowy thing, he said Lorana was going to try. And so presumably, he's going to kill her too if she does.
That is what
He
I
wants me dead.
reference. That's what I reference when it seems that some of us were put here for a reason.
Well, that sounds like there was a grand plan. I guess there is a plan and a purpose. I don't like the way it's phrased, but yeah, he didn't like my blood, or he liked my blood too much. I didn't really understand. I'm dead now, though, but my parents also have my blood, so that's where he's going next.
While she's pondering, is it possible to see if there's any, like, symbols on her to see if she's like a part of an organization that is memorable?
Sure, go for it. That would be an investigation as you look over her. But I think those of you who are watching, it almost feels like she's piecing things together at the end of Ben's statement, like almost like she had a sort of an epiphany to herself. But it is a little muted on her expression, but it does ring noticeable for those who are watching.
Be careful, guys. If she's pondering, that means she's using at least some blue in her deck, and that's really good at canceling your cards or using just other crowd control. And ponder's good because you can kind of scan the first couple cards of the deck, and it's cheap draw power.
I need to get this squirt bottle out. Hold on. Okay, get out of here. All right. But after that, Rahani, as you're looking over her, you don't see any imagery of or iconography or anything you can recognize, and especially for a Githyanki, as far as you're concerned, there's nothing on her that resembles that culture. There's no silver, there's no mention of Lakith, there's no, like, even for Githzerai, there's no thanks babe. I guess for taking my treats I get inspiration, I'll take it. But you're not noticing anything tied to either Gith race, whether that's the Githyanki or the Githzerai. It almost feels like she's just unaffiliated, fully.
I'll hold on to that after she speaks with everyone else. I just want to know.
But yeah, she responds to Ben. I believe I do know who killed you then. He's been...
How?
He's been a
They're
problem
buddies.
for a while.
Oh, I imagine. He's a dick.
He captured my brother. Didn't kill him, though. I'm not sure why. Well, I think I'm sure why. But I'm looking to figure out what I can about him as well. And from what I've seen, there's a lot of information that I don't have the time to dig into right now. But if he's after your mom and he's after your friend, I'm not sure that I can stop that, but I can perhaps buy at least one of them time. If you had to choose.
If I had to
Damn.
choose.
Oof. Oof.
What a fucking question. And it's not your fault, but fuck you for asking, but sorry, but... Fuck! The fucking... If a dick wants my blood, then maybe you can talk Lorana out of trying to bring me back. She might live.
I'll do my best.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Can I roll like an insight or history to have seen if the guy who killed me was actually in his original form?
Oh.
Like to see if maybe it really was the same person?
Okay. I will let you try to like fucking piece my mind around this. You can roll a history check, and this is you
Okay.
kind of compiling all the memories of this person, as well as like combining it with the information you're learning now. It will be at disadvantage though, and part of it is simply because your memories in this space are a little fucky. So it's kind of hard recalling certain details even as you're getting others.
So you said history check?
Yes, at disadvantage.
Okay. All right.
I
This
want
is
to know.
like I shouldn't have used that D20 because I'm at +0 on this shit.
Oof.
Oh, wish me luck, guys. Wish me luck.
I want to know why she's not writing anything down.
Fuck. Yeah, because I'm just like, why would I be here? I got killed helping people out of a city. Why would our little satyr friend get killed or be here? He died of exposure.
Yeah. I think, Locke, as you try and recall some memories about that person, it almost feels like it just blurs out, and like memories that you remember in detail are just not as crisp as you remember. So it's hard to kind of piece anything like that together. But she eventually looks over at Thelonious. I don't suppose you're from around here. Her voice sort of picks up a little bit more.
I have a question first.
Perhaps I have an answer.
Who do you serve?
That's a good question.
I asked the best question.
It's a great question.
I was also curious of that. You don't seem to have the typical regalia of either the Gith or their cousins, so...
Oh, she's part of a science team. She's clearly researching. I want to know who their work is. Are you part of this?
The Gith have their scientists, but there's no typical signage that they would have on her.
All of you recognize that for the good question it was, but the voice and the way it was asked just made me heard, "What is your quest? What is your favorite color?"
This is my very important question to you. Amazing.
What is that? Airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow.
Unladen.
You see her like take a step back almost before it looks like she's trying to collect a neat answer for the question that was given. If it makes you feel any better, do not serve Vlakith. At least not anymore. I serve my immediate family, which is a little strange for my kind if you're familiar with that. I'm trying to save us. Because I think we'll end up here too.
No idea who Vlakith is, but let me save you the time. I died in my lab in the mighty great city of Skavenblight. You no way you'd get in there without being flayed alive, probably eaten if you're lucky. So as much as I want to grab Sin's tail and then drown him in his own screams, it's not something you can do.
I was about to make a joke of like, wait, your people name their cities after themselves, and then that took me a little bit out of it.
Drowning a man in screams.
Drown him in his screams.
What a great line!
Respect that.
I think I've solved the puzzle of the social encounter. We just saw her take a step back. If she takes 2 steps forwards, well, that means opposites attract, and we just got to figure out which one of us is the
If
opposite.
you do not watch your dad nonsense.
Your dad nonsense. Oh gosh.
Listen,
You see her listen to this sort of unflinchingly, but then I guess I have a more. Thank you for returning my snacks.
We love you, Dubs.
It's wandering off. I guess I have a more pertinent question for you then. Did you have any contacts that you see her like stare at you for a long while and then tolerated you?
And he has to think.
He actually has to think. That's hilarious. That's actually quite sad, honestly.
Skaven culture doesn't translate well, you see.
That's a no.
Assassination is kind of like
A
social
cult.
hierarchy. It's hard to say. I think Morkskata may have liked me, sponsored several of my works. It doesn't again translate well. We're not friends. He just saw potential. Best thing you could be to Skaven is useful.
Tolerates you. All right, understood. I will
Don't
dig
don't
where I
do it.
can
Don't.
there.
Look,
Whew.
I can communicate in ways that don't require that I be physically there.
Let me put it this way. I am considered tolerant by my kind.
I can see that.
Oof.
You see her kind of like look away from you, and then settling on Locke. Did you want to try again, or should I leave with their information?
That one's burglish. Yes.
I kind of angles to where they can also see the others. Do you really trust her?
More so than you. You have all these teeth and you change faces all the time.
Yes, I change faces all the time, which is part of the issue. I am called Locke. My original name, prior to becoming Locke, was Byron Fitzhugh, son of Lord Fitzhugh. I died in the city of Feldspar. In the street in the middle of the night, leading guards away from a family. I don't know if that would inform on me being here. It's not murder in the case of several of my companions. I don't quite fit the profile you have created. But at the time, I appeared as a god, but those who knew me and that I was distracting for called me Theron Shadow. I was probably wanted throughout the entire country.
I have no intention of revealing secrets in such research that I do. It is simply to find out what I can about why you are here. And
oh, they would definitely know what I am by the time I die. We have a tendency to this, and then they just gesture at their entire body when we pass on. But I was killed by one of the hunters with the guard. It's I don't know what information it would be able to provide to you, honestly speaking. It was an eventuality, honestly.
And here you are. I want to mention that whatever contact or communication that I make with your contacts, they might not reach you in time. So you may not know if such efforts are done.
Oh, I'm certain that none of them would try to bring me back.
That's not necessarily what I meant, but for all of you, understand that I will try. I'm sorry for what is happening, and I wish I could tell you how to avoid it. But you may be saving others by telling me this, so I appreciate it.
I have one question before you go. Have you seen really big rat, very large horns, often spiraling out? Deific figure. Inspires awe among all.
My friend seems to have spotted such a figure not too long ago.
Where? Don't use cardinal directions like these fools, please, please.
Feel like we're going
I
She
think you're
promptly
also the
points
first one to
south.
be like, north, isn't it? You dickhead.
You see her kind of shake her head. He said it was for a moment and then gone. So I never laid eyes. I'm unsure, but we made note.
Questions. Have you happened to see feminine humanoid figure with very large wings, very large light pass by here relatively recently? And how long
Yes.
ago that was?
Not terribly long ago. I'm quite sure she is also, in a way, trying to figure out what I'm researching as well, but only under the command of her goddess.
And then second question. Would you like a blessing before you go?
You, again, just see her kind of surprised by the question.
I worship Ioun, so like it's a non-denominational type of thing, but if you are okay with that, I can give like a guidance on your way or pray for knowledge to be granted to you.
Your insight is high enough to recognize that she's just not used to getting helped. Like the response that all of you had, the apprehension, the sort of like, who the heck is this, or whatever, that is something she's very used to, and that's why it didn't affect her at all. But the gesture of help genuinely surprises her.
I understand I may not have had the same situation that the Githyanki have with Vlaakith, but I do have some understanding of that, and well, in regards to your cousins, I've encountered them a couple times, and regardless, you have all earned my respect. You are very capable people.
We are a confused people, I think.
Aren't we all?
I will take that blessing. Thank you.
Hell yeah, she'll just boop her on the forehead with a guidance. You're like a nice prayer to Ioun.
You can
Knowledge
see,
and
like,
power be upon you. And come back and
like,
hold my hand.
unsure of what to expect. You see her just kind of like close in on the motes to the point where you are able to get some more details from her. She seems relatively young, maybe late 20s or so. Plenty of battle scars from what you're able to see, but almost head to toe covered in leather armors of various kinds. Now that she's closer, you're able to count 6 or 7 blades, some in sort of hidden, like along the boots or along her waistline, but the 2 larger ones crossed against her back seem to be the most commonly used ones. Her armor looks very worn out, and looks like it's taken quite a few shots to it, perhaps recently, but there is a sort of lightweight traveler functionality to what she wears and how she is dressed, but she closes in and then just pauses and then closes her eyes and leans her forehead forward.
Just do the whole cleric thing, give her guidance, give some prayers of, hey, Ioun, give her the knowledge she seeks. Hopefully it comes in time for us, because that would be lit. But otherwise, protect her in the way she goes. And Ava will just say, she has another hand to hold. So, you can talk to her. You can talk to Rahani.
You can talk to her if you want. As she kind of retracts from it, she gives a soft nod. I wish you all luck again. I don't imagine I'll see you again.
What?
And she starts to turn and kind
Well,
of...
then how will we know that you did your job?
You might not. And she kind of says over her shoulder before she sort of zips off into the darkness.
I immediately start trucking north.
We're going. Okay.
Well, some of us were led to believe a fight was about to happen and spent the best magics we got, and it's on a clock.
It is on a clock. But as she heads off, the rest of you are obviously able to float on once again. But as that is starting, it's another handful of minutes of not even peace, but just almost like a tension as things that are coming at you are either very threatening or just, how do you trust anything out here? But the one thing that has been at least not aggressive towards you seems to be making its way back to you. The large mote of light from a distance, the wings coming out from the form as she slowly kind of closes in on you. The avatar seems to be returning to you with a quickness to her, but in the distance it feels a bit slow. But
One
she closes in.
leaves and another returns. I'm so happy.
He was having a great time.
I had closure with my dad. I made another wife, and now
There
another
you
wife
go.
come back. Hell yeah.
Also, I realized I was like kind of upset that I didn't have like a visual representation of her. So I whipped something up in like an hour last night, just as a also representation of just how big she is in comparison to you guys. But your avatar lady returns.
Oh my god!
Yes! Yes!
That is more or less what you see coming back
Yes!
to you, and what has been chatting with you previously
wife.
as well.
Big one.
Big wife, I love her. I love her, Your Honor. I love her.
Wow.
That's all I ever wanted was a big wife.
You can't have me back. You just can't have me back.
Oh my god! Just a quick preview to everyone else. But as she arrives beside you once again, again you see her attention in your direction, but as what had happened previously, any attempts to communicate any voice she doesn't seem to kind of pick up on, and even though she's looking in your general direction, she never seems to look directly at a person. It still seems as though she's still sensing the team, but not being able to notice you specifically. But she returns and pauses for just a second, kind of reaching her hand out, and you see it kind of curling over that what felt like invisible dome that you felt or noticed the first time you saw her, before she speaks to all of you again. I do sense all 5 have remained, and that is a relief. I had to leave without giving you any lasting protection, and for that I apologize. But I see you have endured in that time. Things have attacked you, it seems. Okay. Let's soothe that a little bit, shall we? She sort of extends her, lowers her spear, extending it in your general direction to the team, that is. And from the edge of it, another sort of mote of light seems to kind of expand very brightly, slightly golden, but so bright that it just feels white. As it kind of expands over you, the inklings, the feelings, the voices, the pain, the memories, all the things that you've experienced since she was gone seem to kind of be tamed a little bit. The emotion lingers. What you experienced didn't quite get wiped away. It just feels a little better. And physically, if you can call that, also feels a little bit better as well. The team is under the effects of a long rest, so you get your skills and abilities and hit points back. Make sure you make note of that.
If we have items that like refresh after a long rest,
those two, you're good. If you have any that are weird, like dawn or midnight or whatever, your items are also all back.
Okay, cool.
You read my brain.
Yep.
It looks like the short rest and long rest should be buttons, but they're not.
They are buttons.
You have to set
The
them up.
long rest was a button.
I have
for
not
the
set them
short
up.
rest.
Yeah, exactly. It takes a little bit of.
By
and
default,
also,
you should do HP and spells. You have to teach it anything that's like items.
Yeah, exactly. For short rest stuff, I think you might have to. Anyway, that's irrelevant. But
yeah, doesn't matter.
oh yes,
Doesn't
Dennis,
matter.
what's up, man?
My class is kind of weird, and I can do stuff on long rests.
You
Can I do some long rest stuffies? Okay.
You could.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
And Locke, not fully understanding, or rather, still being suspicious of the giant glowing lady that pointed a spear at them, is going to purposefully attempt to remember all of the details of everything that they have been experiencing, to see if it's a make you feel better while taking stuff away from you, or if it really is beneficial.
With your focus, you're able to recall everything that had happened. It doesn't feel like anything was taken. It almost feels like, as strange as it might sound in this way, like you had an emotional blanket laid upon you. Like everything's still there. Nothing is taken away. It just feels a little bit easier to deal with. It feels like you're being comforted a little bit.
Okay.
But does it feel like things are taken too?
Joe, get out of here. Relentless tonight. Relentless.
Every day.
that road trip that we talked about, I want you to road trip to me so I can fight you.
I mean, that doesn't benefit you in that you wouldn't have to
benefits
drive
me.
anywhere.
After I fight you, then we could go somewhere.
I mean, I would lose very quickly, and then you would just be beating somebody up at that point.
It's fine. It's still
Okay.
fine.
That's
Just
the goal,
record it and
Joe.
send it to me. Yeah, just record it and send it to me.
Oh, nice.
Joe, can you take a beat down road trip and just visit all the women in this channel?
What did I do specifically to women? Hold on now. There's people watching. I didn't do nothing.
You did not. You're all good.
I'm a decent human being. Leave me be.
You are. Joe's great. Don't worry, we're all joking. We're all
Seriously,
friends here.
Matters?
Yeah, that's for my my potion, my alchemist stuff. So the one is a healing pot. So it's kind of exactly what I need.
Okay, good. I'm just like, another one. But it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. That being said, also, I think it only applies to Rahani, but if anybody, I think it is Ryu, any spells that you can, change after a long rest, you're welcome to do that as well, as clerics get the, hey, after a long rest, you can swap up your spells if you wanted. So if you... Okay.
I will join
believe
Nenners in
me.
cheesing something that you should do before a long rest. Train.
didn't pick that cheese up.
I just have healing elixir, so I can make a potion that's good for 24 hours. So if I can feel that we're being rejuvenated, I will just pull out the bottle that I just reused for this purpose, place it on what would be the ground, and put the tip of my sword into it, and just what looks like blood just seeps out of the eye, runs down the channels in the middle of the sword, and fills the bottle. No big deal.
Okay.
It's just a potion.
Charming.
Okay.
Listen, I have a magic sword that talks to me and feeds me potions. Leave me be.
You are all restored in one way or another, but she eventually pulls her spear back. I do believe I can stay with you for quite some time once again, but I will eventually need to leave. But for now, I can protect you as best I can. I am still struggling to locate you specifically. And for that, I will remind you, stay together as much as you can.
Got nowhere else to go, but yeah.
So,
Did she hear us?
No.
so recognizing that it's possibly a beneficial thing, I do get a couple of cantrips from some of my magical items.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far out away from the moats as possible so that it's a little bit more visible for her, I'm going to use it to cast dancing lights to just kind of wiggle an acknowledgement to see if she can see that.
You see Joe wiggling out in the moats now.
Yeah, like have it form a hand and just kind of wiggle at her like it's waving.
That particular GIF, Ava, will always kill me.
It's one of my favorites. It's one of my
It's
favorite
so good.
Blue gifts because I feel that all the time when it comes to Celestial. It's like, it's beautiful!
Like, that scene, I was rolling when he was doing that shit.
And it's one of the very few Critical Roles things that I've seen in full. Very few.
Oh, it's so good.
I just want
Okay,
to point out something that is beautiful to me. The healing elixir has a duration of 24 hours, and because we're about to wrap, and because we're playing back-to-back days, it will literally have a 24-hour expiration date, and that's just great. That's just great for me and my number brain.
That's great. That's beautiful. I love
You've
it.
upset Netters. He's very disappointed.
Why? It wasn't even a pun. That was just a fact that I enjoyed.
I will say I swapped out one of my cantrips for mending, so I'm just gonna go. Rahani's gonna just go over to Cal and just like start mending the rips that the devil caused, just so you can have the maximum amount of comfort.
Yes.
Oh.
And I only did it for him.
AC 19. Yes.
That's so nice of you. I have
If
mending,
only-
you
if
just haven't
only.
cared about anybody's equipment.
Oh
So-
my god.
Did she acknowledge or seem to recognize that there was a spell, or was she not even able to perceive that?
I don't think
She
was
didn't even seem to
particularly naughty.
recognize it.
Okay.
Legit, I think the only way we could ever speak to her if we have sending, and because I'm multi-class, I don't have sending. That's the only sadness.
I was lying about not being able to reciprocate the mental thing, because technically I also have message from that same magic item, so I can attempt to message her.
I get Eldritch Blast. Does that help you?
I don't, but can message go across planes?
I don't think it can go
We're in
the
across
same
planes,
plane.
and it
Absolutely
also
not.
has a distance,
Yeah, that's
so
the
I'd
only
have to be
issue.
like right there.
That's the only
It
crime.
cracks me up that you have to point with that too, because this is like this giant lady, and you're like, "Hey,
Hey,
she didn't
my
know."
friend thinks
Right
it's
there.
cute.
Yeah.
You will see Thelonious go through his bag, pull out what looks like a mechanical rat, uncork
Mechanical rat.
uncork one of his vials, and smells like kerosene because it pretty much is. Pours it in, Rip starts it. And Foos, I'm pulling out my homunculus servant. So just as an FYI, going
great.
forward, it's a little mechanical rat. He's just
Amazing.
a combustion engine, just kind of shaking and rattling. And note, I mean, if there's any air in here, he's spouting out toxic fumes. But it's good.
I mean, he has no
Oh my
choice but
God.
to rattle.
A mechanical rat. Okay.
Jesus.
Listen, if I ever procreate, my dad powers will ascend to another level, and I don't know if anyone will be able to handle it.
No.
No one's ready for that.
Well, you know
and
I'll make
what?
sure I have a
Johnny
couch
doesn't
ready for
deserve
you.
that.
A soundproof room with a couch in it.
Oh shit! It's like back to back to back to back.
Oh my goodness.
I told
Just
friends
like-
that I was very terrified of the fact that Brendan Lee Mulligan is now officially dad, but I think Joe being a dad is more terrifying.
I
Yeah,
agree.
that is a horrifying concept.
I'm single, ladies.
The puns. The puns would rip existence apart.
Anyway, finish
No,
us up.
We're saying I would be Black Bolt, but with puns.
Yeah, pretty much.
I would
Yeah.
be White
Pretty
Bolt.
much exactly that.
Please finish it off for today.
We gotta go.
No more.
We gotta
Just
go.
No more.
We gotta go.
We gotta go. Okay. With the long rest had, I will also mention, just make sure everything is accurate on your sheets, whatever hit points and such are good to go. But yeah, we're gonna be picking up with the avatar having returned to you, and you guys following along with the modes. And this was our last episode of the random events that could happen. So now anything that happens will likely be planned situations, which will be fun as well. So with that, let's say our goodbyes and tell everyone where they can find you and what's going on. None is dancing. I'm going to pass it to Evie because I feel so bad that Video treated her wrong all night long. So I'm so sorry.
All night long.
It
Jeez.
Rude.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Anyway. Hi, I'm Evie. You can't see me. I am, once again, though not by choice this time, the disembodied voice of the disembodied soul of Locke. You can normally find me on Altered Echo Archives, GMing Empyrean Rising, which we will be having another session this Sunday at 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. The party has split and are making choices. Some of those choices involve a wild brown bear that they're escorting through a city. But yeah, things are happening. I hope to see a couple of you there. We will actually be doing a split stream where it should simultaneously air on both Twitch and YouTube. So catch us wherever you prefer, because Twitch treats us about as angrily and aggressively as Video has with me tonight. There were more than 22 random cutoffs last time. It was terrible. But yeah, anyway, I'm Evie. I play Locke. Love you guys. I am going to drop it with Nenners next.
Yeah, I'm the wow, who am I? Nenners? I don't know what's wrong.
No.
Anyway, I play Melodious.
I was gonna say, is it the sound of the rat beef started
I
up?
couldn't get out.
Yeah, prime.
I kept missing the clutch. Anywho, yeah, I played this lovely rat, who's probably going to be at the timely end again tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited for this triple header weekend with Foos, which means I'm not DMing, so I just get to cruise control and get traumatized. Hell yeah. But anywho, we'll be doing some stuff on the channels soon. We had some temporary projects coming up and a whole bunch of stuff. Just, usual schedules is the thing that we try to wrangle. But I'm rambling, so I'm going to kick it off to Joe, my rival.
Well, I'm
Master of Puppets.
Joe, and when I'm not hanging out here as often as they'll let me, I'm also on Dispel Logic, where we're playing some Baldur's Gate while we wait for some real life to calm down so we can get back to Dungeons and Dragons. And sometimes I'm also in my own realm as Microcosmic God, usually playing Timberborn. Eventually, at some point in the upcoming weeks and months, doing a randomly generated choices Mass Effect, and it'll be beautiful and terrible and awful and fun. But yeah, that's me, and now it's not me because it's Ava.
Hello, my darlings and dears. It's your Madam Ava here. You can find me anywhere on at Madam Ava Couture. I'm still mainly on Twitter because that bastard man who has daddy issues has not destroyed it technically. But on Saturday, you will find me over on Roll Felicity for her podcast Over the Table at 5 p.m. EST. It'll be a laugh. It'll be a riot. Come join us for some chill time. On Sunday, I will be on Exquisite Corpse Presents at 1 p.m. EST for Lunaissance Student Ray, our Thirsty for Lesbian campaign. And then I'm going to dip out of that real quick to go over to, I have it officially pulled up this time officially, the Rainbow Roll Fest for an Equinox game at 3 p.m. EST, and that will be raising money for medical aid for Palestinians. So come join us there, raise some money for charity. Other than that, it's still Black History Month, so if you have coinage to spare, give it to the Black people you know you love. And speaking of Black people, Dances.
What's up? It's your resident Black person. You can find me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/campfire stories when I'm not playing the moo wearing, prosthetic arm having, satyr bard, Calcepitous Bledsoe. Variety streamer, doing tabletop stuff, game stuff. Yeah. Reparations. Foos, you're up.
Reparation food.
Reparations, Foos. Yeah. Also, thank you for those who have already started, but please whisper me your votes for tonight, for who you want to have inspiration for tomorrow. And that being said, we'll be back tomorrow. Awakenings is going to be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Let's go. It's going to be very exciting. But I'm Foos, as mentioned, the DM for Awakenings and Difficult Terrain, as that will be back this Saturday as well. And it's going to be fun, exciting stuff. We have a couple other things that are coming up. And actually, I'm definitely making Joe do his one-shot DM situation sometime in the next few months. Yeah. So we're gonna have a What the Fun Shot. You can look at our Discord for the and What the Fun Shots, by the way, are our one shots where nobody knows what's happening. There are characters that you can choose from, and the DM doesn't really know what's happening. They get a vague plot, some maps, and some enemies, and they have to figure the story out as we are playing the game. So it's nice, fun, lighthearted fun and such. So Joe's going to be doing a murder mystery, I believe, is what it is. So anyway, all that nonsense out of the way. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been super fun. This cast is amazing. Hopefully we'll iron out some of the video issues so we can have Evie's beautiful face on stream next time, which will be tomorrow. But we always end our streams with a raid, and this name cracked me up. It's called Swole Initiative Network, and that's funny. So we're gonna go raid them. And please give them some love. Thank you for hanging out with us. We're gonna say goodbye, and then we'll be back tomorrow, as mentioned. So join us for Awakenings Part 2 on Friday. And have a good night. Bye! Bye! I'm pretty sure I hit transition.